Careless choice, you're not in ease. You beg someone to love, but you are on your knees. But they'll never change. Did you arrange to spend the rest of time in a higher state of mind?
All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to episode 15 of Higher Minds. Well, I can't believe we're already on episode 15, but tonight should be a fun one. We will be talking to Astral Fugitive, as many of you know, and helping me out today is pushing buttons to help keep the conversation flowing. How you guys doing? Starting with you, Astral. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Thanks.
Good.
Thanks for
How
having
about
me.
you? How about you, pushing?
I can't complain. Doing pretty well.
Cool. And yeah, I'm doing all right myself. Just waking up and getting ready for the night to get started. So
Nice.
So tonight we'll be talking about a couple different topics. A little bit of Mandela Effect, a little bit of Astral's experiences, and what sounds like he has some real interesting stories that I haven't heard about. So let's start with that, Astral. Most people here probably know you. Oh, here, first of all, actually, let's start out with a shout out. So it looks like we got a bunch of good people in the chat. A lot of my friends showing up. So let's see. We got Go Kart Bob was first in the chat tonight, and then Daniel Riffle and Ormane and Mr. Super's here. Hey, Little Cam 51 is here, and Pushing Buttons 62 is here, and Golden Sai is here, and I think Sandy's lurking.
Right.
And I think that's everybody so far. So thanks everyone for being here and listening. It should be a good time. It should be some fun stories. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah. So let's start with Astral. For those of you who don't know you, those out there who aren't aware of you, I think most of them are. But you want to tell us just a little bit about yourself, or how you found the community, either the Mandela community or Sandy's channel or my channel, anything like that.
Yeah.
Give everyone an idea what you're all about.
Yeah. Well, I had a few experiences before the Mandela Effect, just like a few experiences before 2016. It's probably like July 2016 was when it was weird. I heard about the Mandela Effect, but I didn't really go to the internet yet. And so I went, it was kind of like I found out about it when I went to go research it, kind of. I went to this guy's video who was showing a world map or like a globe. And I think it was that Bluebeard guy. And his video hadn't started yet, and he just had the globe up there. And I noticed that the whole side of the globe he had on there was all water. And then I was kind of, because I didn't know what he was exactly going to talk about yet. I didn't know that's what he was going to talk about. So I was kind of wondering to myself, like, why is that all water? That's kind of weird. Like, where's the land? And then he started spinning it around. And then that's when I noticed Australia and South America had moved, which were like the first two like real Mandela effects I ever heard. So it kind of like happened like I kind of noticed it as I was going to research it. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. And then I had like I rushed and went to go check all my other world maps. I went to my yearbook. I went and looked at this picture I knew about in there where this kid was standing in a geography class with, I just went and checked every single physical world map I could.
Uh-huh.
I had like a weird, I wouldn't call it like an anxiety attack, but it was like my heart started racing. Like I was kind of like, I guess it was, but it was like in a good way. Like, cause I knew it was like real. Like it was just, I don't know. It was crazy. It was kind of like a crazy day when that happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a pretty big one for your first one. Most people's first ones are, Berenstain Bears, or the Monopoly Man or something. But, for your first Mandela Effect being, South America's moved 1,500 miles to the east, I could see that being, causing a little anxiety.
Yeah, it was such a physical thing, and it was just like it was so eye catching because like it was like literally like I'm looking at this new map, and I have like still have fresh memory of that map being, because I used to watch these videos of these solar weathers, he would show the map at the end of the video every single day, and I would literally watch like giant jet streams, like thick jet streams going between Papua New Guinea and Australia. And I remember that I still have that memory of that air, but now when you look at it, there's no room for like a giant jet stream to even flow between there. So it's just like and then of course everything else just looks different. It's like I don't know. It's like you just put like regenerate and then just kind of like regenerated like a similar map, but it wasn't the same map.
Yeah. Like it just updated or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting you say that, because it really is just, a lot of times, a feeling, and, you just know in your heart and in your brain that this was that way. And, when people say, oh, it's not real. This, how can people that say, it's not real, it's because they're not feeling it, you know what I mean? But, when you actually feel it in your body, it tells you that something's real. We don't know what it is, or, what's causing it or why it's happening or anything like that, but we know that it's something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the first like like the first confirmation I knew that it wasn't just me was like the first thing I could think when I went, like, cause I came across the whole like Luke, I am your father, or no, I came across the whole Star Wars one that day.
Mm-hmm.
Or it might have been like the day after. The first thing I did was I went to the video clip of Tommy Boy where Chris Farley's like yelling, he's like saying that in the fan.
Yeah, into the fan, yeah.
Yeah, and then everybody in the comments section that day is probably not like that anymore, but for like those few days, everybody was saying like, wait, he's saying it the right way. Why isn't it? And then everybody's saying like, wait, it's not this way anymore in the actual movie. And it's like, wait, why is he? It's like he's saying it the way I remembered it, and everybody's saying like, no, it's no. And then everybody was arguing about what it was, but nobody was talking about the Mandela effect. So that's how I knew like people were like freshly affected at that time. Like I don't know, it was like a big wave at that time because there was like a bunch of people that were affected, but there was barely anybody on YouTube in 2016. Not like,
yeah, right.
Yeah, there was like barely, like a few, like Moneybags I think was doing it, and then there was like a few other people that were kind of big, but that was it. Like, and then just random like regular people.
Yeah, that's kind of how you had to find some of them, because you'd see them on Reddit, or I mean I didn't ever use Reddit, but like even on like Twitter or Facebook or something, people would post something and then people would leave in the comments not talking about the Mandela effect, but they would just be like, oh, that's not right, and then there'd be arguments in chats, and nobody knew what it was the Mandela effect. They just were, but they were still noticing it. So yeah.
Yeah, that was weird because nobody knew. I mean, not nobody, but like a lot of people really didn't know what. But now it's like so mainstream, like everybody kind of talks about it. But I don't know how many people really even notice it anymore because it's so mainstream. Like I don't know, it's hard to tell anymore because I don't know. It's hard to gauge how many people actually like experience it nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. And especially since it's become, well, I guess it's a little easier now that it's kind of more mainstream. Um, but yeah, when I first found out about it and then started trying to talk to people like in real life, yeah, I had the same problem that probably everybody else here did when they tried to talk to somebody, and people would get angry or shut down, or you'd lose friends because they'd think you're crazy and stuff like that. So I just quit talking to people about it in real life. You know what I mean? Like I just find the people on the internet, on YouTube or wherever, and then that's just kind of stuck with them uh, because there's really nowhere else to talk about. You know.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was kind of just talking to people on YouTube chat, and like I was kind of like excited at first. Like I thought for some weird reason that my friends and my family would like notice all this stuff, and they would like notice it, and they would be like, "Wow, this is like like." But then I went and told everybody, and I just got so shut down. Like I got like real attitude from some of them, and like I was just like, "Wow, I better not talk to anybody about this."
I was exactly the same way. I was excited. I was talking to people at work about it, um, and family, and there was actually one or two people from my work that was interested in, so I had a little bit of outlet. If I got bored at work, I could get up and go and talk to one of them up in front of the warehouse and tell them about the new Mandelas, and they'd be interested. And
Yeah,
but then people come
I
and
think I
go.
have one friend. I have one friend that she doesn't feel the Mandela effect necessarily. She hasn't had any experiences, but she has had other experiences, so she's really open to it. She doesn't like she believes pretty much like what I say. She doesn't doubt it, but she hasn't had any of her own experiences, so she's pretty much the only open person I know about it that can talk to me about it.
Yeah,
I mean, in real life, you know what I mean? Like,
in real life, yeah. So you said that before you found the Mandela effect, you had some other experiences.
yeah, I think it was like a step by step. I think it was like experiences that led up to the Mandela effect that kind of got me ready for it. Um, like the two out of, I guess I'll start with the two out of body experiences I had when I was younger.
Okay, yeah, I'm curious about those. I want to hear. I want to hear these stories. So,
Yeah, they're both like very similar. So I'll tell the one I remember the best first. Okay, I think I was with the way my bedroom was set up. I think I was probably a teenager. So, and that's another thing about these experiences. Like they're kind of like timeless in a way. Like I can't really pinpoint. I just know I was like somewhere in junior high or like grade school. So I woke up in the middle of the night and I felt like I was like sleepwalking or something. I felt like I was completely awake, like I was standing in my bedroom. Like I thought I was standing on my desk in the corner of the room because I had like a high vantage point, like almost up kind of by the ceiling. And I'm just like looking around and I'm like, I have this like really like clear, like just like, I don't know, just relaxed. Like everything was just like fine. But everything was dark though. Like I could still see, like it was just still dark like it would be in the physical world. And I'm sitting there thinking about something and I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm kind of waking up. I'm like, oh, am I sleepwalking? And I'm like, I might be sleepwalking. I'm like, maybe I should go to bed. And then I just really didn't care. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm like, how am I standing on my desk? Because my desk is a mess. Like, and then I started thinking logically, like, well, how did I climb up here without knocking everything down? How did I get up here without making a bunch of noise? Because my parents' bedroom was literally like right on the other side of the wall. They would have heard it and came in. Like my sister would have came in or something.
and how old were you at the time?
I think I was like late grade school, maybe like sixth grade. I want to say like maybe seventh grade or something, like kind of going into junior high, like maybe like 12 or 13 years old,
Okay.
maybe.
Wow.
And I'm like looking down and I see my bed, but I don't see me. Like everything's dark. And it's like this really like, I was kind of like this really like vulnerable feeling, or I didn't feel like I was in danger, but I felt like I don't know, like I was just I didn't have like a body. So I was looking around and I was like, well, wait, I'm gonna step off the desk. So I go to think about it, and I realize I look down and I don't have arms and I don't have legs and I don't have like a torso. And then I realize that like everything down to like my peripheral view, how you can see like the bridge of your nose. I
Uh-huh.
looked down and I couldn't see that. And I looked and I was thinking and I was like, oh my God, I was like, and then it like dawned on me. I was like, I'm outside of my body. And then like once I started kind of freaking out and realizing I didn't have a body, and it was weird because I like wasn't like really breathing because I didn't like really have to because I didn't have lungs. So it's like the weirdest thing where you're just kind of like your entire like soul is like breathing. So you're not, I don't know, it's strange. So once I started freaking out, that kind of knocked me out of that state and I kind of just woke up the next morning, and it took me like a week, maybe 2 weeks to like kind of like fully remember that experience. And then even for years after that, I didn't really believe it was an out of body experience until like, I don't know, until around the time when I started getting into astral projection. And I realized because it didn't feel anything like a dream. Like I always tell people, like being out of your body is like 180 degrees, like the opposite direction of a dream. It doesn't even, it feels just like being in real reality, but you just don't have a body. And I don't know. It's the strangest thing. It's very, it just feels very real. It's nothing like a dream. Like, cause I had a lot of friends that try to tell me, oh, you were just having a realistic dream, but I've never had a realistic dream like that. Like it was like unmistakable.
Hmm.
And the second experience was basically the same thing. I kind of woke up again in the middle of the night, but this time it was even stranger because I was like nothing weird, obviously, but I was in my. I thought I was like sleepwalking again, and I think it happened around the same time. I can't pinpoint if it happened before or after the other experience. So I was like laying in my sister's bed, like opposite. My head was opposite her head, and I kind of realized I was like, oh man, did I sleepwalk again? Like sleepwalking wasn't an issue for me. Like I don't know why kept thinking I was sleepwalking, but and I was like, yeah, I must have sleepwalked and came into her room and laid in her bed, and I was like kind of laying on top of her covers, like she was under the covers, and I was like, again, I was like, well, how did I get in her bed? How did I get nestled in without waking her up? And then it kind of started dawning on me again that like my head literally felt like it was just floating like at the foot of her bed, like I was just like a um, I don't know, like it's just like some ether, like I don't know. And then it was the same thing. Once I realized I was out of my body again, I snapped out of it, and then yeah,
Huh.
same.
So did the same thing happen as far as not being able to remember it for like a week or two?
Yeah, they
Second
both
time?
took a while to remember. Like, it's not like I woke up the next morning and then remembered it. It was like I kind of thought about it for the next few days, and then it kind of popped into my head. Like a lot of dreams kind of do that to me. If I don't, I think that's why they say you should keep a dream journal because, because a lot of things you kind of forget if you don't. But I don't even remember remembering it when I woke up. It was kind of like, yeah, it took like a couple days to remember like to start remembering it, and then, like I said, even then, I kind of just, I guess, pretended like it was just a dream or something, or because I don't remember believing that I was actually out of body for like a good like few years until I was like at least like in my mid 20s.
Huh. Interesting. Well, I just wanted to say hi. Looks like Propagate This Light popped in, and Ken Raz has popped in since the shout out. So, welcome, guys. Thanks for stopping in and pushing. If you got any questions, feel free to jump in and ask too.
Yeah, man. I'm just gonna try to sit back and listen unless I come up with something to ask. So,
all right, and then
cool.
and
I
then
appreciate
anybody,
it.
cool, yeah, and anybody in the chat, if they got any questions for Astral, feel free to put it in the chat. But unfortunately, for some reason, my StreamYard is not showing my chat, so I can't put any comments on the screen because it's telling me that YouTube doesn't support comments on private videos. So I don't know why they think this is a private video, because I just went and checked and it's definitely public. But yeah, feel free to put some questions in the chat.
It's like YouTube's messing with you.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because maybe when I initially created it on private, because I didn't have the thumbnail up and ready and all that kind of stuff.
Another issue is too that people have been having, like, somehow YouTube has been posting double streams for people. Like, I've been seeing that being an issue lately. I've seen that with 2 people that I have that do live streams on my my subscriber list already, and I think even somebody was complaining about it too. I think that's another glitch that YouTube's having right now too.
Yeah, but yeah, I think this would be a glitch in StreamYard, I would think, because I mean the chat in YouTube is fine.
Oh yeah, that's true. I keep forgetting StreamYard's separate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, StreamYard's almost as bad as YouTube, but I'm still new to both of them. So, so Mr. Super says, I did, Josh. Does that mean you had a question? So yeah, if you have a question, just like, just put at real or not for real, so I'll see it and ask it, and we'll get to it. So yeah, so speaking of astral projection, you'd mentioned that. When did you start, experimenting with that?
Well, that oddly enough, like when I was younger and all in the early 2000s, I didn't even know the word astral projection. Like, that wasn't even, like, I never even heard that word. I mean, I may have heard it, like, floating around, like, but I never paid attention to it, because when I in like 2004, I actually met these kids. It was the weirdest thing too. It was just these 3 like weird. Oh, they weren't kids. I mean, they were like young adults, like I was. We were all like in our early 20s, and I met these 3 guys, and they would always talk to me about, but they would never say astral projection. But they would always say that they were always practicing going out of body. And I never believed them at the time. I always thought it was just a trick of the mind and all that. And but they swore up and down that it was real. And then it was like probably like another like 6 or 7 years. I went to I took a few classes at community college. I was probably like in my late 20s or something like that, man.
Uh-oh, you're cutting out, and then we lost him for a second. Can you hear us, Astral?
Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, now we can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, you just cut out for a second.
Okay, yeah. I think my computer did like a notification to cut me out or something.
Oh, all right.
What was I saying? Shit, I lost my train. What was I saying?
Community college.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I took a like a class, like a math class in community college, and I met this girl there that I knew from work, and she was just started talking to me one day about how she was doing astral projection with her friend, and like they had a group of friends and they would all practice it, all this kind of stuff. And I said, I'm sorry, what was that? And she told me astral projection, and then that's when I learned the word. So I went home, started looking it up, started looking up, like stories and all that, and then started looking up techniques eventually. I didn't really buy any books or anything like that. I just kind of started looking up people's, like, how they post those weird like candle techniques where you stare at the flame for like 20 minutes and you try to turn it into like a portal, or like, and then you go out of your body that way, or like the rope technique. Like, some people just do random videos, but I can never get it to work. I got a few times where I got like, I would kind of get maybe some buzzing in my head, and maybe sometimes in the morning if I woke up in that state, it's like I could almost do it, but a lot of times it would just be like terrifying because it would just sound like there's like all these loud sounds, and like and then you get like you have a hard time breathing at first, so you got to get over that, and then I don't know, I guess I just never like, and even the times I did try, I just never made it like out of my body. Like maybe if I was lucky, I would go into like a lucid dream where I'd be in my bedroom and I would think I'm out of body, but it's just a dream. Like it wouldn't even be anything like being out of body. But I've never been able to do that. What happened to me when I was a kid, I've never been able to do that on my own. I know people have, but I can't do it. But
yeah. So okay, so we got a couple questions for you. The first one was from Mr. Super Sidewinder, and he asked, could he see his silver cord?
Yeah, so, I hear a lot about that silver cord, and I didn't see anything. The only thing I saw that people talk about was like a kind of like a bluish hue around everything, but I was in a pitch black room, but I was looking at my bed, so I imagine I would have seen a silver cord. I think some people might see it, but I don't think the silver cord is, personally, I don't think it's really a thing. Like I don't think it's like maybe something that you can or can't see, but I don't think, I've never considered it like a big deal, to be honest.
Can you explain it a little bit? Because I'm completely clueless on what the silver cord is.
Yeah, it's, when I looked into it, it's kind of like your lifeline to your body is what they explained. And I've heard some people try to say that there's astral beings out there that can cut that cord, or if you go too far away, your cord could get cut, or things can enter your body when you're not there, which I believe that can be true, but I just don't see how something can cut the cord. Like, I don't know. I've just never felt like that was an issue. Like both times I've been out, I've never seen a cord or anything like that. I think it's more of like a spiritual connection to your body. I mean, yeah, I think it's more.
Yeah. And so then Mr. Super had a follow up, and then Ormane had a question, but he asked, when you were when you had the two out of body experiences, could you see your own body? Like, did you ever get to that point where you looked over and seen? No,
because both times the room was just as dark as it was like regular. So like I could like see like the outline of like I could see my sister, but her covers were kind of like, I couldn't see her. Like that was the one thing that I kind of regret. Like I kind of wish I would have moved around a little bit, because I know a lot of people talk about seeing their own body. Like I was looking right at my bed, like I could see like the form of my body right there, but no, I never like went up and like looked at details on my face or anything like that. But yeah, I didn't have my body when I was there, so it had to be in my bed. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is, you don't really think about, when you're in that state of mind, like you don't really think about moving around or doing things like that. Like you're just at such like a peaceful state. Like I could have sat in that state forever and it would have been fine with me. Like you don't have to eat, you don't have to breathe, you don't have to, like, it's just, I think it's like a natural state of being. It kind of felt like that. Like it was a pretty comfortable state, but kind of vulnerable and uncomfortable at the same time, given that everything was kind of dark and I couldn't really see anything. So I don't know, maybe it wasn't like, yeah.
Interesting. So then Ormane, I think you might have kind of answered this a little bit already, but if you have anything else to add, Ormane asks, have you ever accidentally projected as an adult? He says, I think I did once or twice on an LSD flashback.
No, I've never, not that I know of. Like I don't have any like experiences that I remember as an adult. Like the only ones that happened were at latest like junior high. And yeah, like and I've had chances to do like DMT, but I've been too scared to do that too. I've never that
Yeah.
scared me. I've never
I don't blame you on that one. I've heard about that, and
because I've had better experiences just laying in bed at night than I've ever had like with any sort of extracurricular thing.
Huh. Yeah, Mr. Super says maybe that's why you didn't see the cord, because you didn't see, your body. You didn't look at you didn't see yourself. I mean, I'm guessing that's what he's saying.
Yes. Wait, within your own being, or actually travel outward.
Oh, right. Yeah. Then David, aka Logan Freeman, had the question: did you look within yourself and within your own being, or actually travel outward?
Well, I mean, I was physically trying to look at my physical body on the bed. I mean, I don't know about looking like inward. I just felt like I didn't feel like there was anything to look inward on. I was just at peace. Like, I'm not sure exactly if that's what he means, or if that's like the answer he's looking for. But
yeah, well, that's crazy. Like, I don't know. Like you kept
because
mentioning.
I literally felt like I was outside my body, like I was still in this world, like the world that we walk around in.
Uh-huh.
But I felt like I was literally just like an invisible thing, like kind of like if you think about it, like there could possibly just be like 12 of them just floating around in your room right now, like because I have no idea like if anybody could perceive me, or I don't know, because then I just kind of start thinking like, is this how people see ghosts sometimes? I don't know though, like would I appear to as a ghost in this form to somebody who could perceive it? Like that's kind of the things I was thinking about when that happened too.
Yeah, I wouldn't know quite what to think if that happened to me, because I mean I sleepwalk a lot, or I used to, at least. I mean, I think I do it a little bit less, but you said you said at first you kind of equated it to that, and then you realized that wasn't what it was. But yeah, I couldn't imagine if I ever ever found myself in a state where I wasn't in my body. I don't know how I would react to that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I kind of freaked out too. Like, but it's like weird because like you don't have like a heart to start beating, to start getting like, so you just kind of just black out. Like it's just, I don't know. It's like you have to keep like, because that's what they always said in the astral projection things too. They said if you wanted to stay there, you had to just be like completely calm and cool. Like you couldn't get it like too excited about stuff. Otherwise, I don't know. It's kind of true too, because the second I couldn't handle it, it just took me out of there.
Yeah. So were you ever able to talk to anybody about it, like after it happened, when you had the like once you remembered your out of body experiences? Like, were you able to talk to like your parents or friends or anybody about it, or is this something that you just kind of kept to yourself for for years?
Yeah, there was nobody I could really like, maybe until about 2004 when I met those first group of kids that I told you about that never used astral projection. I told them about it, and they were the ones that like they kind of like said like, yeah, you were out of body, man. Like, and then they were just kind of asking me if like I saw anything else, or and I still didn't believe it at the time. I just kind of like, I was strongly rooted in the belief that it was just like a figment, of my imagine, like it was just a trick of the mind, because that's what all my friends and my parents would tell me. And at that point in time, I never really saw any real evidence of anything else, so I just kind of assumed, yeah, there's no way that can be real. Like I just really didn't believe it. And then um yeah, and then I didn't. And yeah, then a few years later, that's when I started actually getting into it. And then even then, I couldn't talk to anybody about it because my friends kind of took the same attitude, and so did my family. They just kind of looked at me like I was kind of weird. Like I was kind of like, my mom would kind of look at me like I was kind of getting into like some kind of weird witchcraft or something. Like, which I guess it arguably, how you do it, I guess you could invite some bad things in doing it.
Yeah.
So.
So, sorry, real quick. David is following up with this question, saying, "What I mean is, did you travel within your own subconsciousness or outside your physical consciousness in the ether around your room? Does that make more sense?"
Oh wait. Oh, wait,
You
hold on.
travel within your own subconsciousness.
Well, I think, okay, I guess the best way I can answer this, the first 2 times, I think I traveled. The first time, like, I don't know, I was just outside of my body, literally. The second time, like all the other times after that, when I tried, it was always into a lucid dream state. So I guess it would be within my own consciousness because it was never. I think that's what he's saying. Like, because I would go into a lucid dream state, and then I would like different things would happen, like in a dream, and that's probably what he's talking about. I would be in a subconscious, or I would be inside my consciousness by then, or my subconscious, I believe.
Right. Yeah, I think that is what he's saying. Because he says, because I think you can go within your own dreams and lucid state and sort through your subconscious.
Yeah, because when I would do that, like, for instance, like I probably did it like the last time it happened was maybe like 5 years ago, but for like a good year or two, I would always try to astral project, and I would always do the same lucid dream as I would go into my room, and I would check if it's a dream. Like I would always have like checks, like I would do like squats or something, and if I couldn't feel the tension in my muscles, like I would just, or I would jump and just hit the ceiling or something. And I would always go down the stairs, and there would always be something different going on in my living room, like either like my uncle would be down there, or like something else would be going on, or like my mom would be down there doing something. And I don't know, it wasn't real, it was a dream, but I think it was more connected to my subconscious is what I think he's saying, because the other two were literally like I was just here, but I was just out of my body. Like I think that's what he's saying, because that's kind of like the difference is what I'm thinking he's thinking.
Yeah, he said that's what he was saying. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
So,
I'm glad I understood that, because I felt like I didn't understand that for a second.
yeah. That's super interesting. Like, yeah, I'm totally fascinated with that kind of stuff. But it's always kind of scared me as well. Because I think it can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, or if you're inexperienced, or you don't have somebody who knows a little bit about that kind of thing.
Yeah, because being in like especially those first 2 experiences, I kind of used to think about it like, had I seen something in that real of a setting, like I don't know how I would have reacted. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how I would have reacted if I would have actually seen see, like I don't even know. Like I don't even know. And that's another thing too. And what I thought was strange, I didn't see my sister's astral body, and I didn't see my parents' astral body, because we were the 4 people, and we were in a really small house too. Like it's almost like if you take the walls away, it's almost like some people's living rooms are bigger than this house. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
so it's kind of like I just thought it was kind of weird. Like I didn't see their astral bodies, so I don't know where my sister's astral. I don't know. I don't even know if you can even perceive other people's astral bodies. I don't know if I was even in the state to perceive anything else. Like I don't know. It's just a lot of questions that I never really have answers to, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things out there that a lot of times we're probably not going to get a whole lot of answers to, but doesn't mean we can't keep looking.
Oh yeah, I'm always kind of looking for answers, no matter what.
Yeah. So this story that we were talking about here before the show, that I missed, I think you had told it once on Sandy's, but have you already told that story?
Oh, the telepathic conversation I had.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's what it was. Do you mind sharing that? Because I'm interested in that one.
Because there might have been, because I was talking kind of fast at the time, there might have been some details. So maybe it was a good idea if I tell it again. There might have been some details I left out too. So, okay, let me see. Okay, this probably happened when I moved out of my apartment. This was after that story about the being that attacked me, the first story I told. This was probably like in 2010 or 2011 or 2012, because it was after I was getting into astral projection. And this was around the same time as like this other experience I had, which maybe I'll tell that after this too. But I woke up one morning and I was in sleep paralysis. I didn't really realize I was in sleep paralysis. I was just really comfortable, and I was laying in bed, and I heard some voices talking in my head, two voices. One of them was a female voice that had like a raspy, like reptilian sounding voice. She sounded kind of like not like an older female, but like a younger female. And I heard the other voice was myself, was me talking, which I'll just call it like my higher self, because I felt like this, whatever who was talking was higher, in a higher state of consciousness than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm listening to this conversation, and they're both talking in tongues, and they're just talking back and forth. And I'm like, it's kind of like I just walked into a room, like walked into a conversation, and I'm just kind of listening. And then after about like maybe 2 or 3 seconds, I kind of merge with my higher self, and then I'm actually the one talking in tongues. Like, and it's crazy because I'm in this like higher state of consciousness in a sense, because I understand this language that I've never spoken before, and I'm just firing it off like I've been speaking it for thousands of years. And this girl, she's talking back to me in the same language, and I'm understanding everything. And we're just kind of talking to each other for about maybe 5 or 6 or 7 seconds. And the only thing I could remember, because I can't really remember exactly what was said word for word, but she was trying to get me to agree to something. Like, it's almost like it was like a negotiation. Like, she was kind of getting, like, trying to get me to agree to either do something or agree to something. I don't know, maybe have access to something. Maybe she wanted like to possess me. I don't know. And and I was talking to her, and I told her in tongues, and I was like, well, why? Like, why would I do that? Like, I was kind of like irritated with her. Like, why would that benefit me? And she stops talking to me basically. And the whole time I don't see anything. Like, everything's just like, my vision is just like completely black. Like, I don't see what she looks like. That's why I feel like this was a completely like telepathic thing. Like, this was all audible, completely audible in my head too. Like, I even heard like, it even felt like I could hear like the echo in my head of my own voice. And then so once she left, I was still able, it was like the channel was still open. So I kept talking to myself, and I went back into English because I guess I didn't need to speak tongues anymore. And I felt like I kind of dropped back down into like regular consciousness. Like, I was just kind of laying in bed, but I could still hear my voice. And I was just so astonished that I was speaking so clearly to myself. And I just thought to myself, like, and I kept talking too. Like, I just kept saying everything because I just wanted to hear my own voice. Like, not like in a narcissistic way, but I just like couldn't get over the fact that I could audibly actually hear my voice, and I wasn't moving my mouth. And then I thought, okay, well, I'll do a little test. So I went to go use my mouth to actually try to say something, and I heard like some air come through my mouth, like I was like, and that's when I realized I was in full sleep paralysis, and my jaw, like, I could barely even move my jaw at all. Like, I couldn't even get a word out of my throat. And then that's when I got like all like kind of excited. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, this is actually like I just like, it's like quicker than using your mouth. Like, you just think the words, and it's just like the words just come out. And it's like, and I'm thinking like that would be like pretty awesome, because this whole experience wasn't scary. Like, I was never scared at any point. I was just thinking like that would be awesome if, like, I think every human can actually talk to each other like this. We just don't really know how yet. I don't know. It just felt like it was like a tool that everybody has, that for this brief period of time got unlocked for me. and it was just kind of like shown to me for a brief time that it's real, because the only part that I know that it wasn't a dream was how was I understanding and speaking a language that I've never heard it on this planet. It was tongues is what it was. It was just sounded like if I spoke it, it would just sound like a bunch of like babble, but it was a
Right.
coherent language when I was speaking it, and when I was
Yeah.
listening, it all meant something. So
Well, yeah, because I was wondering, because when you said tongues, if it was the same thing as what I think of when I hear speaking in tongues, because the church I grew up in, they spoke in tongues, and it didn't sound like any similar to any known language. It just sounded like a bunch of uh, jumbled up sounds and words and stuff like that, or not even words, but yeah, just a bunch of jumbled up sounds and.
yeah, and a lot of people think that's why it's hard for me sometimes, because I see a lot of those church like charlatans that'll be doing the tongues thing, and people always want to say, "Oh, they're faking it." Like, I kind of want to be like, "Well, no, tongues is real." But yeah, there probably are a lot of people out there that, because it is easy to kind of fake it too. Like, you can kind of fake it like you're talking it too. Like, so there's a lot of
Yeah, right. Well, I mean that's what I did when I was a kid. We'd have chapel services in school or in church. They'd come down and have you come down front to get prayer or whatever, and they'd pray for you in tongues and say you're getting baptized in the Holy Spirit. And I did that a couple times as a kid, and I just didn't want to be the only one not doing it. So I mean, I kind of just faked it myself, just because that's just what I thought I was supposed to do. So I don't know. I mean, I always kind of thought that was I never did understand tongues, but I mean they would even like the pastor would even speak in tongues, and then for like 5 minutes just go on in tongues, and then he'd hand the mic over to like the assistant pastor, and supposedly the assistant pastor was able to translate it. And so he would talk for like 5 minutes and pretty much, saying that, he's interpreting what, the tongues prophecy was. And I always thought that was a kind of weird, but yeah, it sounds like a similar.
Yeah, and I wonder too, like this tongues that I was speaking in this telepathic form, like I wonder if there was like sounds and like words that I was able to say in a telepathic state that you can't quite translate with a physical mouth and tongue. You know what I mean? So I wonder if like the tongues that gets translated down to humans is almost like a slightly different dialect, because we have to use our mouths to talk it. Because like, I don't know, I just couldn't imagine like talking this fluidly in tongues with like it's real, but like, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it's like a little bit different for physical humans. It's kind of like the difference between like different dialects in a country or something like that. Like
Yeah, right.
That's what I wonder too. Like in the universe, is it just one language like that, or is there like different beings have different forms of tongue? Maybe not tongues, but something else. Like they speak in different types of vibrations. I don't know, but I was just this is something I think about too.
Yeah, well, I think talking with telepathy would be the easiest, because then when you're doing that, you really wouldn't even don't even need a language. You know what I mean? Like if you're just thinking it, it seems like it would get automatically translate. If you're having a telepathic conversation with somebody in India and they don't speak the same language, it really wouldn't even matter, because your thoughts would translate. I would assume they would translate automatically, and he could hear what you're thinking in his language or something, what he can understand.
Yeah,
But
it's like
I don't know.
Some people talk about like they call it like speaking in thought forms. Like it's almost like they equate it to like sending you like a zip file of information, and then you just kind of like the Matrix, where he just like puts in a bunch of things and just downloads like karate and jujitsu and all this information, like, but you just get it like quick, and you're like, oh, and then you send like an information package to them, and then they download it real quick, and and then I don't know. I mean, that's just, maybe that's how it works, but
Yeah. Well, Ormone said something interesting. He said he's seen writings in dreams that could be described in the same way if it was spoken out loud.
yeah, and that's another crazy thing. That's crazy that he mentions writing in dreams, because all the lucid dreams I have, that's actually something I forgot to mention. Every time I'm in a lucid dream, that's the first thing I always do is I'll go grab a book or a newspaper or anything with text, and that's the first thing I'll do is I'll just try to start reading text. And every time I try to read it, there's never a legible word that comes out. Like the words and letters will be morphing like crazy. Like I'll see letters that I know, and I'll see other letters and symbols that I don't know, and other letters that look like they could be in our alphabet but aren't, and just all this weird and it's like and I guess if you try to read it, it would sound like tongues, because it's literally just like words jumbled up. Like, I don't know, it's almost like in a dream state, it's like every reality is like crashing into one. So when you try to read something, there's not actually anything there because it's pulling from, I don't know. It's just, it's strange. Like I've never been able to actually read a word or a full sentence of anything in a dream. I've tried so hard too.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean it's weird how different our conscious and our subconscious are, and we're just so used to knowing the rules of our conscious reality, and things work this way and things work in our reality and things don't work in our reality. But when you get into your dreams or your subconscious, all those rules go out the window and you can do whatever you want. And it's I can see it being hard for a lot of people to to be able to realize that and get past that. But once they do, then I think you can really explore and learn a lot about yourself and a lot about things by just opening up your mind to letting some of those physical rules that we have, and when we're conscious, letting them go. And yeah, I think it's a super fascinating topic. But
yeah. And I think that's kind of how like a lot of people talk about like a human ascension event, like they're like something's going to happen. But I think like that's like what everybody's going to have to learn. Like I think it's going to start with like a few people learning about like, say, telepathy or like being able to do that, and then it's just going to spread from there, and then eventually everybody's just going to start learning. I don't know, because I would imagine at some point, like, things like telepathy and talking like that are going to be like commonplace. Like maybe not like next year or in a 2 year, maybe not like next couple years, but at some point I would imagine.
Yeah. So I wanted to respond to Go-Kart real quick. He made a comment. Says when the Bible talks about speaking in tongues, it says you will understand. It doesn't mean and it doesn't mean gibberish. And I mean, I would agree with that. But
yeah, I agree too.
Yeah, I didn't. So if when I said speaking in tongues in my church, it just sounded. Maybe I said it sounded like gibberish or whatever.
No,
I didn't mean it was literal.
I meant when
gibberish.
charlatans and fakers speak it, it's easy to fake it because to a lot of people it just sounds like gibberish. It's not gibberish. I always tell people it's not gibberish, but to people it does. Like it does sound like gibberish to some people, is what I was saying.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that's what it totally sounded to me like as a kid. But I was a pretty naive kid, and just I kind of believed everything. So I just just assumed that there's no way that this big 5,000 congregation church is putting on this big production and it's all fake. You know what I mean? I just assumed that what was going on was real, and even though I didn't necessarily feel it at the time.
And in his comment where he says it says you will understand, like he's right about that too. Like when you're speaking it and hearing it, like you understand completely. Like it's like that's why I think it's like the language of I guess souls. I guess I don't know. It's just like the most direct way to speak. I guess I don't know.
Interesting. So, you got any questions popped up yet? Pushing for Astral.
I guess like about uh God, I can't think of the whatever it's the dreaming. Do you have any techniques that you would suggest for that for the God, I can't think of the word.
Lucid dreaming.
Yeah,
Or
lucid dreaming. There we
lucid
go.
dreaming,
Thank you.
or for lucid dreaming or astral
Yeah,
projection.
yeah. Well, I guess either or both.
I think it's kind of similar, but I mean, like, I don't know if I would like suggest trying to go out of body, but I mean, like, I guess if you have to, I mean, like, well, obviously, like I said, like none of the techniques ever worked for me, but like, I guess there's like the rope technique. Um, there's a candle technique out there. You would have to look up a YouTube video on that, but it's like requires like staring at a candle for like 10 minutes in the dark, and then it kind of helps you create like a focal point. And but none of this stuff ever worked for me. That's the thing. So it's like for me to really like suggest something what makes sense, because I haven't been successful in doing it myself. But you can use a lot of those techniques, and I think actually it's better. I guess if you really want to do it, it's probably a bad idea though, and Sai would say it's a bad idea too.
Yeah,
But
yeah, right.
but I guess if you really want to get in that mind state, the best way to do it is you go to sleep for 4 hours. You wake yourself up. I mean, do this on a night when you don't have to do anything the next day. You sleep for 4 hours straight. Wake yourself up. It doesn't matter if you're tired and you want to go back to bed. Drag yourself out of bed. You stay up for about 3 hours, maybe 3.5. Just do whatever. It doesn't matter how tired you are. Just force yourself to stay up. And then you go back to bed, and usually your body will want to go back to bed so bad it'll be really easy to get I don't know what they call it, like Sandy calls it the mind zaps, but it feels just like that. Like you get those zaps in your mind, like you feel like electricity going through your head, and then that they say that's when that happens and you go into sleep paralysis. That's like your springboard to astral project. But
Wow.
I've even tried it from there, and I haven't even been successful. Like a lot of it depends on like your diet and how healthy you are. Like if you're not healthy and you eat a lot of like greasy foods, and I think it matters how clean your pineal gland is, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. Like it's just. I think that's maybe why I've only had a couple out of body experiences, because when I was younger, I wasn't really eating like great food. So I was probably lucky to even have the two I had, to be honest.
Yeah, I've wondered about that too, like for myself. That's cool. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
So, I guess my I have a question. Like when I hear the term astral projection, can you give us like just a basic idea? I mean, I think most people know what it is, and I think I know what it is. But like when I hear it, I think of kind of like something similar to remote viewing or something like that. But you project your your mind or your consciousness or whatever just to some other place, and you're able to like see details of some far off place on Earth or in or anywhere in the universe. Is that kind of what astral projection is, or?
Well, from what I understand, I've always heard that remote viewing and astral projection are two different things. Like the way I kind of feel like it's like remote viewing is like you're kind of like shooting a lure to a location, and then you kind of view from that location. I don't know if you can really like move around and navigate. I think you can, but I always hear it's different. Like actual astral projection, like you actually leave your body. I guess it would be more like you kind of send a drone out to look, as opposed to like you leaving your body to actually go look. I guess that's the best way I could explain it. Like that's always what it's, because I don't know if remote viewing is more like seeing a vision in your mind, like, or if it's actually like, because some people describe it as actually being like there, but they're still like in their room. But astral projection is more like you're completely away from your body, like you're actually like on a trip to that place. Like it's the best way I can describe it. I
I
would
see.
think, because I don't know if I've ever actually remote viewed, so I don't know. Like I've seen.
So it's basically kind of doing the same thing in different ways. Like the remote viewing, the image that you're viewing sort of comes to you in your mind, whereas astral projection, you're actually sending your consciousness out to that.
Yeah, like when I told that cockroach story, when I saw the vision of that dead cockroach that I found a few hours later, like I don't know if that was remote viewing, but it wasn't in real time. So I don't, because that's another thing too. I think remote viewing is done in real time, and that was more like a, what do they call it, like clairsentience, or where you see like a vision of a future event. I don't think that's remote viewing, and that's what happened, because I don't think I've ever actually remote viewed. That's the thing, is it kind of does confuse me, because it is different. A lot of people will tell you it's different, but I think astral project, I kind of just liken it to that. Like you're sending a drone out when you do remote viewing, and you actually go and do it when you actually astral project.
Yeah, that'll be a good question next time I talk to Sai, and see if maybe she can explain that a little bit better. Because I was curious about that, because I mean, because we've actually talked about, we've been trying for like the last couple of weeks to do a remote viewing session, because I was really interested in that, and
Like a group remote viewing session.
well, no, just like Sai was gonna help me out and just do it, just the two of us, yeah, because I've never done anything like that before, and I'd be more comfortable doing it, like one-on-one with somebody who knows what they're doing, than as opposed to, doing it like finding somebody on a live stream that's just doing remote viewing with, 50 people and watching a video, you know what I mean? Something like that. I would, yeah. So yeah, it'll be a one-on-one thing, but one of these days we'll get to it.
Yeah, I think that's the same thing that like all those governments were trying to do in the 40s and 50s when they were trying to spy on each other. They were trying to use remote viewing to do it.
Well, right. See, then that's why I asked that, because I thought, like, the MK Ultra, or what was it, Operation something. There was a couple of government, and I thought that they were focused on astral projection, but maybe it was remote viewing. I'll have to go back and look.
Yeah, remote viewing, because I think they were doing experiment. Like I think they were trying experiments, like they would try to like set up documents on a desk, like, like 100 miles away, and they would try to have like a room of people like try to successfully like remote view and tell them what the documents said. And supposedly, from what I heard, they said it was really hit or miss and it wasn't very accurate. But at the same time, I don't know if I believe that. But I would like to think that something like remote viewing being kind of like based in like a spiritual realm, I would think that like the natural laws of nature like wouldn't let them use it like so much for that purpose. Like it wouldn't work like that well for them. You know what I mean? Because you would think that they'd be able to do whatever they want if they could just remote view whatever they wanted.
Yeah, right. Because they wanted to try to remote view into like the enemy territories and find their secret spots or whatever, or documents, something like that. Yeah, it's kind of what. So I guess maybe that's where my confusion came with the difference between the remote viewing and the projection. But
yeah, and I think remote viewing might be a little bit easier to accomplish too. Like I think I heard it's like easier in general for the general like person to like kind of do it than an astral projection. Like I don't know. Some people, they say astral projection comes really easily, but it's really complicated for a lot of people. And so is remote viewing. Like anything meditation based, like I've tried to like meditate and just like see if I see visions. Like I unless I wake up like early in the morning, like I don't get anything like that. Like I try to put myself in that state, but it's so hard.
Yeah. So what would you say would be like your biggest like, you know, I know you said you haven't had, you know, a ton of success with some of the times that you've tried doing some of this stuff. Has there been any really, you know, any good, you know, successful attempts um, at astral projection or anything, you know, along those lines, or, you know, getting into lucid? Are you able to, like, you know, lucid dream
Well,
when you want and stuff like that?
I felt like I was for a while, but because I was waking up in that state like a lot, and I haven't done it in a while. But there was one dream I had. Oh well, or I'll tell that other story after this. But there was one I had a lucid dream where, because like you know how I usually told you I would lucid dream into my bedroom, and I would go down my stairs, and there would always be something else in my living room going on, whether it be like my uncle or my mom.
Uh-huh.
But I had a really weird one, and this one was like strange. And I don't know if this one, I don't think it was an astral projection, but it was just really strange. I went down my staircase, and usually there's a wall on one side, and then the other side's like a railing, and you can kind of look over and, you know, look back and you see the living room.
Uh-huh.
This time I went down, and it was like a marble staircase, and it went all the way down like 3 stories, and there was like these people standing there, and they were all wearing white, and it was like the strangest thing because it was so detailed, and I like they couldn't see me, and I was just like walking down there, and I was trying to like not get in their face in a mean way, but I was trying to like stand in front of them, and they just didn't react to me. And I was just like wondering, like, well, that's weird. This is a weird lucid dream. Like, why would I experience this? And then I went down, and I saw this lady. She had her back to me, and she wasn't like, she didn't acknowledge me either. And then I went down all the way down to the bottom, and it was like this big giant like marble floor with like these green plants, and it was like white like marble columns. It was like a really nice place, and there was maybe like 4 or 5 people in this area, and they were all just kind of standing there. They all looked really relaxed. They all had like white on, like white pants, like, you know, all this, like they just looked like almost like they were at like a resort kind of. And there was
Uh-huh.
just one guy laying in bed. He wasn't in bed, it was more like a reclining thing. And he was like sitting there like kind of like struggling, like he was having a bad dream or something. And I don't know what was going on. It was just strange. Like I don't know if it was like it may have been a projection, but that was like one of those dreams where it kind of borderlined, like, are these just dream figments or are these actual like people? You know what I mean? Like, because these people felt like, I don't know, like sometimes you can just feel like, because I've had other dreams too where I felt like people in those dreams, like there'll be one person like where I'll kind of point them out in my head, and I'll be like, wait, who is that? Like that person's like, there's actually somebody here in my dream. Like that's kind of what I feel like sometimes. Like these other people are NPCs in my dream, but like I think this person might actually be real. Like, so I don't know how that's why I kind of asked Sai last time if it was possible to like enter other people's dreams by accident, because I felt like on multiple occasions that there's been like somebody else like in my dream, like another being or something. Like I know beings can attack you through dreams, but I don't know, it's just sometimes I wonder if other people can kind of enter other people's dreams on accident. Like, I mean, she said it was possible, but I don't know. I think it happens.
Or it could be somebody just doing it on purpose.
Yeah, if you know how. That's the thing. I don't know how, but I'd imagine there's people out there that know how.
Yeah, right. But yeah, seems kind of invasive to me. You know, for somebody, you know, somebody going into somebody else's dream without them knowing about it. You know what I mean? So as far as you know, whoever you felt in that dream, you know, might have been there on accident, or they, you know, might have been there on purpose, just, you know, because they just know how to do it or whatever. But that just seems kind of creepy to me. Like, that seems like, kind of just inviting yourself over and letting yourself into somebody's house without, being invited and just walking in and, kind of lurking around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really weird. Kind of, and it's always like it's never like positive either. It's always like it always feels kind of hostile too. Like it does it like it's kind of like you say. It always does feel kind of invasive when I feel it happens. I mean, it may not be the case, but it feels like that. Like I don't know, just something. Because usually when I look at people in dreams, I'll look at their eyes, and I can usually they just have like that kind of like plasticky glass look. Like I can literally tell in dreams, like if somebody's not even like I can just like say, oh, they're not real. But from time to time, like yeah, I swear there's like actually somebody there, but I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, Ormone says, with 8 billion people, I could see some dream crashing accidentally.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, you got any other? You say you had another story that you were going to tell
Yeah,
after.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just giving you. I didn't know if you wanted to say something. Yeah. So this other experience I had was kind of around the same time I had that telepathic experience that I told you about, with that
Uh-huh.
being the one in tongues.
Yeah.
But this one was a lot stranger because this one actually wasn't audible. It was all pretty much visual, and I'll explain why it was crazy. Okay, it was like the same type of thing. I woke up in the morning, and it was probably like 6 in the morning, maybe. And it was the same type of thing. I was laying in bed, probably in sleep paralysis, but I was really comfortable. And I was staring. I was like, I was facing, like, my head was facing my ceiling. Like, I was kind of facing up, laying in bed on my back, but like my head was facing up. And there was like this rectangle, almost like a computer screen, but it was more like a portal. And it was on the ceiling, and it just opened up like it was going to show me something. So I'm looking at this, and all of a sudden it just shows this alleyway, and I just get this like really like uncomfortable feeling, like there's nothing going on yet. It's just an alleyway, almost like kind of like a camera from the other corner of the alley. And then I see this guy come running up to the door. There's like a door in the alleyway, and he's wearing like a leather jacket. He's got slacks on and like 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 the dress shoes. It's almost like he's late, or like I thought maybe he was like being chased, and he's like really in a hurry, and he's like opening this door, and he goes in. And the whole time I'm watching this, it's literally like a like I don't know, like a projection onto my ceiling. And then the thing is, I thought my eyes were closed the whole time. So as this was going on, I thought to myself, like, I was just looking at this with my third eye. Like, I was like, okay, cool. So let me try. And I was like kind of doing the same thing because I was trying to control it like it was a dream, but I couldn't control it. It was like somebody was actually showing me something, like projecting something through my head. And I looked at the ceiling, and I went to go close my eyes, or I went to go open my eyes because I thought they were closed, and I couldn't open my eyes. And I was still watching this thing, and I was like, oh my God, I can't open my eyes. But then it like dawned on me. I went to go close my eyes, and I had been laying there in bed with my eyes wide open, like just plastered open, like as wide as they could go. Like I looked like some kind of psychopath. Like, so this, when I closed my eyes, this vision went away. So I wasn't looking at this through my third eye, which was the craziest thing. And when I opened my eyes, my two physical eyes could still see this projection on the ceiling. So I was kind of thinking, like, is this like a real like physical, like projection on my ceiling, or am I, because I'm not seeing this through my third eye. I close my eyes and I don't see anything. It's just black. So then the next scene happens. The door closes, and there's this guy with a 70s haircut running through an office building, and there's all these like desks on the side, and they're all, I know it's like the 60s or 70s because there's no computers or nothing like that. It's all like just like old school looking typewriters, and like it, and his haircut and everything, it just totally looked like it was probably like the 60s. And I don't know who these people were. The first guy was bald, and then this guy has like a 70s haircut, and I can't figure out who he is. And this is like such a strong vision. I'm literally sitting there with my eyes open, looking at this portal thing on my ceiling. And he's running through and he's taking lefts, he's taking rights through all these cubicles. And I'm like, okay, this has got to be a dream. Like I'm going to try to control it or manipulate it. And I couldn't. It was like watching a TV show. And he eventually runs into this room and he runs off, I guess, out of my view or whatever you want to call it. And there's just like this storage room with this dog sitting in the middle. And then at this point, it was mimicking an earthquake video I had seen where there was a storage room with a dog, and then the dog runs away before the earthquake happens because the dog can sense the earthquake. So the dog runs off, and I was like, wait, I recognize this. And then right when the earthquake's about to happen, the whole screen, or like whatever's projected on my ceiling, I go into like astral projection mode, and then like the whole thing, like kind of like warp speed type of thing, like I get enveloped in the whole thing, and then like I feel that buzzing, like, and then it turns into like I can astral project or go into a lucid dream, and that kind of startled me, and it kicked me out of it, and then it was gone. But that was the only time that's ever happened. Like it wasn't something I was seeing in my head. It was like literally something that I could only see with my two eyes. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know if it was, and I've actually heard stories from other people. I don't know if they're true, where they talk about like extraterrestrials, like will beam stuff into your head that you can see, like in your kind of in your mind, but in your field of vision. So maybe like other people can't see it, but it's like physically being projected through my field of vision, you know, maybe not necessarily for everybody else to see, but that's why I don't see it in my third eye, because it's not a spiritual thing. Maybe it's like an actual like skull to brain thing. I'm kind of thinking that maybe that was actually like a skull to brain type of situation. You know what I mean?
Like they're expanding your human vision to like see, the more spectrum of the light. Or yeah, right.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't get like what they were showing me. That's the thing. Like, I mean, I think it may have been like more spiritual, but just the fact that it kind of put me in a lucid dream at the end. Well, not like a lucid dream, but it gave me like I don't know, maybe they can induce that. I don't know, but it just felt really weird. Like it was never, I don't know. That's the only time that's ever happened. It was a really strange experience.
And so when that was happening, you said you were laying in bed and just looking up at the ceiling and you could see it. Were you in like a sleep paralysis, or could you move? Could you actually?
No, it was just like the telepathic thing. It was like I was in sleep paralysis. I didn't really try to move because I didn't hear anybody talking, so I didn't try to talk or anything. And honestly, I didn't want to break out of sleep. Like I knew I was in sleep paralysis, but I didn't want to break out of it because I wanted to, like, it was literally like watching a TV show. Like I wanted to know what was going to happen. Like, because I had no idea like why this was being shown to me. I thought maybe I was going through, like, maybe it was like maybe some relatives of mine from the past or something, you know, that I just didn't really, because I have a lot of like family members that I never really met. So maybe it was like one of them from the past or something, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I was just wondering because the first thing I would have wanted to do was stand up on my bed and reach up and try to touch the whatever that I'm seeing on the ceiling. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And the strange thing was, I could still see all the details, and in my peripheral, I could still see like my window and my, like, all the things in my room. So it was like, but I felt like I was kind of thinking about that, but I felt like if I moved and got up, then it would like break the vision and it would just go away. You know, that's kind of what I assumed would happen most likely. That's probably what would have happened, because I would have had to break out of sleep paralysis to do that, and then it probably would have went away. So,
yeah. So Ormane had a question and said, "Did reality invert after he passed?" So I'm not sure. Like that was a few minutes ago. So I'm not sure if he was referring to something specifically that you said.
Wait, when who passed?
Yeah, right. Yeah, see, that's what I was kind of wondering. Ormane's still here.
That might not have been for me.
What's that?
Oh, I'm looking for the comment, but that might not have been for me. Wait, where is that comment?
Oh, it's like about halfway up from the bottom. So yeah, so I'm not sure. If you're still here, Ormane,
Yeah, sorry, yeah, I wasn't really like watching the chat the whole time.
Yeah, no, that's all right. The chat's kind of moving slow, so it's a little easier to keep up with. But the Mind is here. Just say hello. Hey, Mind. Thanks for stopping in.
Hey, Mind. What's up, Mind? The Mind.
The Mind, or who cares? Oh, he says the alley man. The man in the alley. It's a common theme to the vision of the stranger brings changes behind him.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because that actually makes a little bit more sense, because that kind of makes it more not about the identity of the person, but more like a message. Like more like a message rather than because I never really felt like it was about who the person was anyway. So that's interesting.
Yeah. And so how did you end up coming out of that one? Did you just kind of just like fall asleep, or just wake up?
Well, no, that one. No, I remembered that one. That one pretty much happened. I was pretty much fully awake. Like, it was a seamless experience. Like, I woke up into that experience, and then once it tried to suck me into the lucid dream or whatever, I snapped out of it. And then I kind of just woke up, and then it was all fresh in my memory, and then I just got up and started my day. But that one, because I think it was like later on in my life, like I kind of gotten better at retaining dreams and stuff. So that one, because I didn't have like a long sleep break in between, so like I just it was all fresh in my mind right there. Same with the telepathic conversation too. That was all fresh in my mind. Like, I pretty much woke up and just started my day right after that too.
Huh.
It was basically like getting off of a Skype call or a phone call and then just getting up out of bed. It was weird.
Huh. Yeah, no, that's that's interesting.
And I'm trying to think, like, as far as this kind of stuff goes, I mean, other than that, I've just had like just weird like sounds and just things, like when I would try to astral project, like I would just hear like weird like bugs, like a giant, like I don't know, like giant gold beetles like flying around my room, and then that would scare me, but I wouldn't see them, but I would kind of see them with my mind, like just little things like that, but I would never get out of my body. But other than those experiences, like I can't really at the moment.
Yeah. Well, do you think that you have any kind of like, supernatural abilities? Excuse me. Like like any kind of maybe psychic or telepathy or empath or anything like that? Do you feel like you have any kind of those gifts, or you just
well, I think honestly, like, because like obviously, like with the telepathy, like obviously that's not. I mean, it might be like a gift, like I can do it, but I like I haven't been able to. But I think honestly, like, what would you call it? Like, if you're like a really good like, kind of like a judge of character, but I can like usually like tell like right when I walk into a room if somebody's gonna be like a problem, you know what I mean? Like if I don't want to say if somebody's gonna be a bad person, like because I don't want to like just call somebody a bad person, but like I'll get like really negative vibes from people that'll be like definitely like confirmed later on, and other people won't see it, and sometimes I'll have to like kind of let people know, like, hey, like I don't know if maybe you shouldn't trust that guy or something, and then they'll be like, oh, are you sure? He seems like a good guy. And then like a few days later they'll say, oh, I let him over to my house and he stole my wallet, or something like that. It actually
Yeah.
happened one time too. So
Yeah.
Intuitive.
I think that intuitive is what I was going to say.
yeah, I think
Right.
maybe I have good intuition because I think I'm a pretty good judge of character, like as far as like who I let like around me and like talk to me like on like a somewhat of a personal level.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny because that's exactly kind of how I feel like I am. I've always thought that I had a good judge of character, and I've been proven wrong a couple times in my life, but for the most part, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Like I don't see visions of like the future or can read people's thoughts or anything, but I can kind of get that feeling of when you meet somebody and you don't know what it is, but you just kind of just get the intuition that this person is somebody you might want to keep at arm's length, or this is a really good person. This is this kind of person I want to
And
hang around with. Yeah.
And the funny thing is too, like in the instance with that guy I was telling you about that ended up stealing my friends. Well, he stole more than that, but it was like when I first met that guy at work, I walked in and I saw him and I just got this bad vibe but it's like weird because sometimes like they'll recognize you too. Like he looked at me and I never seen this guy before in my life, and he looked at me and he kind of gave me this look like oh great, not you, like what is this? Like he kind of gave me like, oh, this is gonna be an issue. Like it's almost like they know you can see them, you know what I mean? Like it's like they know it's like, so they know they're not going to be able to fool. I don't know, that's just what I kind of feel like, because that was the weirdest exchange I've ever had with somebody I've never met, and it turned out to all be correct too. He was not a good person. My friend trusted him and let him live at his house for a few days, and he ended up like stealing all his wife's credit card stuff, and he just left the state, and it turned out that he'd been going state to state doing that. And I told that guy too. I was like, I don't know, man, I wouldn't trust this guy, and he didn't want to believe me.
Huh.
But it's just strange how like I recognized him like the second I met him. Like,
Yeah.
So I would say that probably like just good intuition. Like,
Yeah, well, that's a good gift to have. It may not be like fancy and flashy and cool, but it can definitely be helpful in life.
it can save your life too if you think about it.
It can what?
It can also save your life in the right situations.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or other people's lives.
Or other people's lives. Yeah.
Hey, Astral, have you seen any of these videos about like I think it's kind of relatively new, or at least it is to me. They call it Mind Sight, and it's I don't know. It's a small group of people that I've seen on YouTube. I think there's a couple of different channels, and they're all kind of intertwined. But they'll blindfold themselves, like even. They put like blindfold after blindfold after blindfold. Even that's what I've been seeing recently. Like they'll put like 4 different types of blindfolds on at once, and they'll have the other person hold up, an object or a card like on the other end of the computer, and they'll like they're training. It's like their mind. They're able to see it with their mind, or it's a hoax.
No,
Yeah,
I've heard that kind of stuff. Like I was hearing something similar. Yeah, like where they'll put like blindfolds on like a lot of times it's kids because they're more intuitive or they're more like susceptible, and they'll have like a physical wall in front of them, and they'll have somebody on the other side of the wall like have a deck of cards, and they'll hold up cards, and the kid will sit there and like name like all the cards that like accurately that the guy's holding up, or that the other person's holding up on the other side of the wall. Like,
okay, yeah. Well, I think that's something maybe a little bit different than what I'm. Well, I mean, I guess it is the same, really, but it's just a different setup. But I was going to say that kind of reminded me of like what they describe in some of the telepathy tapes. I don't know if you've heard any of those, but that that's what that sounds like to me. Like sounds like some of the tests they do for the kids that, yeah, that's all kids that they talk about. And I think that they were supposed to put a video documentary together, but they've been only like audio tapes up to now.
Oh,
But you
so
may
you're
have seen
talking about,
the.
you mean it's like adults that are like actually training like themselves to do this?
Yeah,
Yeah, I have,
young
like,
adults. That's what I've seen. Yeah.
yeah, I think I kind of heard something about it. Like it, I heard like there's I was hearing something. I don't know where I heard this. It might be along the same lines of what you're talking about, where they kind of train themselves, or they let themselves go into like hypnosis. And what happens is they don't even need a blindfold or anything. And like, I don't know, this sounds strange. I'm gonna have to like really look into this some more, but I just kind of heard
Mhm.
about it where they'll do like a hypnosis and they'll do like certain cues where they'll say, okay, you don't see like this person or this person anymore. And they'll have somebody stand behind that person with like cards or, whatever, just whatever. And the person will be, no blindfold, their eyes will be wide open. They'll supposedly they'll be looking right at the person that they can't see, but they'll be naming off every card or every object that the person's holding right behind the person's back. And it's like they really actually can't perceive that person anymore. Like, is that kind of maybe what you're talking?
Yeah. That sounds it's a little bit different of a spin than what I've seen, but it
Well,
sounds like
I think it's
the
like
same
all kind
thing.
of like in the same, probably in like the same like wheelhouse of programs.
Yeah,
Like it's
I would say so.
yeah, because I maybe not like I didn't hear about the exact same thing you're talking about, but I probably heard like something that was connected to the things that you also heard about too. So
Yeah. It seems like very similar. I wish I could remember the name of like the main guy that I've seen doing it. I think I can only remember like his first name, or it might be his last name. It's Caesar, like Cesar or whatever. It's one of the two. But that's all I got to remember on that one right now.
yeah, I'll
Sorry.
have to go back through my history and find the video I was watching of the person talking about it because I think he said the name of the doctor that was conducting these experiments that he was talking about too. So I need to go back and because I'm always
Yeah,
like driving and working when I'm listening to these, so it's not like
yeah,
I really ever get a chance to write this stuff down. But
yeah. I've seen they do have like a 3 hour workshop too, where there's like, maybe 8 students or so, and there's like 3 or 4 instructors. And like I've seen also these people, like some of the instructors. I think one of the instructors is like that guy Caesar's like cousin or sister or something, like little sister. But she's like probably 19 or 20, something like that. And but yeah, it's really really cool. Like they were talking about it and saying how like at first, like you're like seeing, people see they're like the I guess the where their vision is coming from, or coming to, or coming from, I guess. It's different for different people. So like some of them have to turn a different way, like towards the object, because they're seeing it like out of their temple, or something like that, or behind them even. And it starts off like really small, like it's like a pinpoint, like a little tiny hole. It's like you're looking through a peephole, kind of, is what they say. And the more you do it and more you practice, the bigger it gets, to where eventually, supposedly, it's supposed to be like 360 degrees, like fully all the time, which would be weird. I don't know how that would be if you were trying to go to sleep or whatever.
oh, I
But
get that because like what you're
yeah,
saying is it's kind of um like the whole like the pinpoint opens a little bit and it's kind of like that thing that they do like at the end of like the Looney Tunes where like the black circle like opens.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
exactly what that is because when I had those that vision of the cockroach, that's exactly how it is. It's like a little pinpoint, but mine, like since it was like shown to me, it was like it just opened up to about like the size of something, like like maybe like a basketball, and that's where I saw the vision. The same like, and then so like when it was done, like I could kind of like control it, like opening it and closing it, but it was only
Wow.
at this like like sleep state, you know. So like I'm thinking like I know what you mean. Like if it were to open all the way up, I would be like enveloped in that vision. You know what I mean? Maybe that's how remote
Yeah.
viewing works. Maybe you
Wow.
open it and then you're actually, yeah, because that's
Wow.
strange that you said that, because that's exactly how it works. It's like, because all those visions I had, except for the one where it was on my ceiling, because I think that was more of a physical thing. But yeah, the cockroach one, and I had another weird one where I saw like a sink in a faucet. I don't even know what that was about, but the same thing though. It was like a circle that I could like contract and open, and
Wow.
it was like I could open it. I don't know why I didn't try to open it all the way. It's weird, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well, hey,
that's cool. Sorry.
yeah, that's right. Looks like we got a couple of questions in the chat, and looks like people are dropping some links for some of the stuff you're talking about. Like Mr. Super just put in one about blindfolded kids
yeah.
reading, and David he, put in a couple, I think, about that. So I'm gonna have to go grab those after the show. But there was two more questions. I figured we'll do those, and then we're coming up on the 2 hours, which is usually what I try to kind of keep this around. So we'll get to these questions and then do some closing thoughts and get on out of here. But the first question was from David. It said, "So did it look like?" So I'm guessing he's talking about when you seen the portal looking thing or whatever on the ceiling. It says, "Did it look like a movie in your vision playing out, or a hallucination, or a TV program playing, or something like that?" Anything?
Yeah, the one where I was watching it on the ceiling with the alleyway and all that, it was pretty much exactly like watching a TV show. It was like I couldn't control it. It wasn't like a hallucination. It wasn't like abstract and weird. It was literally like everything was proportionate. It was like I was watching like CCTV, like, but it wasn't grainy like a video. It was very clear, but it was like everything was accurate. Nothing looked weird or out of place. It was like I literally had like um, access to like camera view of an alleyway. It was yeah, it was very. It wasn't like a dream or anything like that. It wasn't a hallucination either. It didn't even feel like a hallucination.
Yeah, interesting. And then the second question is from Ormane, and it says, "Have you experienced early adult trauma? This can create those sensitivities." I think you talking about the intuition and stuff. Do you know? Have you ever experienced early adult trauma?
Like physical trauma, not really. Like I guess like I think like in 2003, I got heat stroke really bad and like passed out and like hit my head on the concrete and I like started like convulsing. Like I kind of like my friends were telling me that I was like slamming my head on the concrete, and then I woke up. I didn't really go to the hospital for it. I mean, I guess that could be like an event of physical trauma, but like other type of trauma, like not really. I mean, I guess like maybe being like that story I told about being attacked by that being, but nothing like crazy. No, not that I was never in any like serious car accidents or any like serious like like accidents or any fights that I got hospitalized or anything like that. So other than that, like passing out like that, like maybe that was kind of bad because I hit my head a bunch of times. I mean, but other than that, no.
Yeah, I can say. I mean, both of those sound like kind of traumatic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I guess so. Then, yeah, I guess if you want to count that as because that was my early adulthood. That was probably like 22, 23 when that happened. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would say that qualifies as an early adult.
And it probably didn't help that I didn't go to the hospital for it either. So
yeah, right. It could be some what's the concussion like symptoms or something. Yeah,
I didn't have any real symptoms, so I didn't really worry. I mean, I was kind of like walking on eggshells, like kind of worried, like every time I would get kind of like not lightheaded, but every time I would feel kind of weird, I would think like, oh crap, am I going to pass out again? But yeah, other than that, though, so I guess that was kind of traumatic if you really want to think about it.
Yeah. Well, it's been a fun conversation. I can't believe it's flown by.
Yeah, I had a
They
good
always
time.
just go by so fast. But
Glad I came on here.
yeah. So let's do it.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I appreciate you guys being here and you helping out, pushing, and
For sure.
bringing some questions and
Thanks.
filling in. Yeah.
Thanks for having me. And yeah, really awesome show.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, thanks for being here, pushing.
Yeah.
Sure, man. Sure.
All right. Well, let's do. If you haven't spoke up in the chat lately, say hi at the bottom and we'll throw you in. But I got doing it again by the engagement, not by the order of who spoke up. But tonight, the number one top fan in the chat was Mr. Super Sidewinder, and then Ormane was second. We got Daniel Riffle and David, aka Logan Freeman, pushing button 62, Go Kart Bob, DD74, who's Ken Raz, Golden Psy, Sandy Diva, Who Cares, or The Mind, Little Cam 51, Propagate This Light was here, and then Blimey 19 and Flat Earth Andy showed up at the end, so we hadn't said hi to them yet, but thanks for coming in, catching the end. So we got any final thoughts, words of wisdom you want to share with people out there before we play out with a song?
Yeah, I guess as far as all the astral projection stuff goes, yeah, just be careful with it. I mean, I wouldn't really suggest doing it on purpose. I don't know. I just feel like it's better to, unless you really feel like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, or unless you have somebody who knows what they're doing that can help you or guide you through it a little bit.
Yeah, because the
might
deeper
be a safer way. Yeah,
the deeper you get into it, you start to really realize how like kind of real all that stuff is. Like things affecting you and getting attached to you, and it becomes more real. Like the more you kind of get into it. So yeah, just be careful if you guys ever decide to get into it. Luckily for me, I never successfully got super into it and got made it become a problem.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely an interesting thing to try out or whatever, but I agree it can definitely be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. And
if it happens naturally, that's one thing. I think it's okay if it's like if you have an experience like naturally, like that you didn't like. But if you like, it's kind of like with anything, like too much of anything like can become an issue.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess with that, we will get on out of here. Normally I play out a song with from Mr. Super, but since we started the show with a song from Mr. Super, Ormane has been here all night, so I hope he doesn't mind if we play out. This is one he did, I don't know, a couple months ago, I think, but by now that I like. I think it was just a little freestyle recording session he did and put up, and it's pretty good. It's one of my favorite ones on his channel. So I guess with that being said, everybody, thanks for being here. Thank you guys again for joining the show and having some good conversation. And it looks like we're gonna have to do maybe a part 2 to get finished because we always get cut short on time. Time just goes by so fast nowadays. That so you're always welcome back, Astral, and of course pushing. But if you ever want to do this again, just let me know and we'll set it up.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah.
Cool.
We'd like
All
to
right.
do it. Yeah.
You want to say goodnight, pushing?
Good night, pushing.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Yep. Thanks y'all for being here. And Sandy's show tonight, I'm guessing in 12:30, 12:45, something like that. And then whatever that translates to Sandy time.
Yeah, as long as we can keep Cy off the phone with her.
Yeah, let her get her work done. So, but yeah, so everybody, I'll drop her link in the chat to her channel. But I'm sure everybody here already knows her channel. But yeah, thanks again for being here, everybody, and thanks for listening. And we'll catch you out. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Great job, you two.
Thanks. Have a good night, guys.
Good night. Uh-oh. Is it not playing sound? Uh-oh. Let me try this again.
I think this is all live.
Yeah, we're still on. I don't know why it's not playing. Why it's not playing the sound. I don't know. Damn it. Let's,
Super Sidewinder says it was playing.
oh, it was playing sound?
Yeah, that's what he says. He says we hear it. He says it was playing.
Okay, well let's
Yeah.
right, yeah, I can't see the chat now because but,
I can
right.
hear it.
You can hear it?
Yeah, I hear it right now too. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll just let it finish out. There's another 30 seconds. But yeah, thanks everybody for being here. All the great engagement in chat. And yeah, see you on the next one.